Hey everybody, what's up? JayC here, and we're at it with another live stream. And tonight it's all about pop culture trivia and giving away some cool prizes. So, uh, let's just go over real quick how this is going to go down tonight. Some of you who are regulars, I'm probably pretty familiar with the whole pop culture trivia, but probably some new folks here as well. Let's just take a quick roll call of who's in the house currently. I see Adams is in the house, Quinn Comics, Lord Venger, Martinez, Kyle's in the house, needs that Baroness, Damien, welcome. Okay, so tonight we are giving away a ton of stuff, probably over 400 $500 worth of stuff, or easily. So the main prize tonight is a Haslab Galactus that we're going to give away, assuming it is actually fully funded. If it doesn't get funded by some remote chance, then obviously you wouldn't get a Galactus. But I'm going to assume at this point it probably is. But as I said, that's if by some chance it didn't, then you wouldn't get that prize. But besides the Galactus, I've got some GI Joe classified stuff, some Target exclusive stuff that I'm going to be giving away tonight. So I've got a Cobra Viper figure. I've got the Baroness and bike and a Major Blood figure. So those are going to be given away each individually. So three different chances to win those. And then because the Galactus is limited to folks, basically because it's going to be coming, the Galactus, assuming it's backed, is going to come from Hasbro Pulse. I'm going to end up giving them your name and mailing address, and then when it ships out, probably in a year, it's going to go to your address. So that does mean that you have to live in an area where Hasbro Pulse ships. So I believe that's the U.S., Canada, and then the U.K. as well. So there's that stipulation with the GI Joe figures, which I'm going to be mailing out myself, here next week. Those I am keeping it to just folks in the United States. You will have to have a U.S. address for me to ship those to. But that's why I threw in for the final prize tonight $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store, who does ship internationally. For you guys who are watching, possibly living outside the United States, I want to give you guys a chance to have something to shoot for as well. So I've got three different sets of questions, 5 questions each for each set. There's a set of questions of 5 questions that are related to Galactus, and so if you get that answer right, you will go into the bowl that is for. This is our bowl for the night. So it's a Mezco tin. So if you get a Galactus question right, your name will go in here, and then at the end of the evening, we'll draw one name out, and that person will win the Galactus figure. The second set of 5 questions, and we'll be, the questions are all mixed up, so we'll be asking the questions throughout the evening. But if it's a G.I. Joe based question, then those people's names will go into the second bowl, and this is for the G.I. Joe figures. We'll draw 3 different names out, and they will win the prizes. So it's going to go in the order because I don't really have an easy way of saying, okay, you get to pick this one and you get to pick that one. So the first name that we draw for G.I. Joe is going to win the Baroness and the bike. The second name that we draw out of the G.I. Joe is going to win the Cobra Viper, and then the third one is going to win the Major Blood figure. Hopefully, you'll end up getting one of the figures that you need, but I can't, like, okay, which one do you want, so on and so forth. So that's how the order is going to go with the G.I. Joe figures. Then the third set of questions, which are not Galactus or G.I. Joe related, it's kind of a mix of stuff, but and there's 5 of those questions, and those will go in this third bowl, and that will be for the $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store, and we'll draw one name out of that bowl. So that's how it's going to go. You can get more than one question right, so you can have your name go into a bowl more than once. Conceivably, if you got all 5 questions in the category right, you would be an automatic winner. But the more questions you get right, the better your chances of winning. Keep in mind that I have to go by what scrolls on my screen, and it's the first one I see that I will pick with the right answer. You know, as we've done these in the past, you know, some of you, apparently the order of name, you know, things that scroll down the screen differ from what I see. So it has to be what I see on my screen, and, you know, it's the one I read out. I try and go, you know, sometimes these things scroll really fast, but I try and get the first correct answer. But it's the one that I call out. That's the name that's going to win. So even if you're like, oh, but I got it first, you know, again, it's going to be based on the one that I see first and the one that I actually call out. You know, keep in mind we're doing this for fun. It's not 100% perfect, but that's how it has to go. So like I said, essentially, you know, if you think you got it first, but someone else's name gets called, don't get upset. It's just, you know, it's just how it goes. So let me think. Any other rules that I want to go? So you can have your name in the bowl more than once. If you cannot, this live stream is probably going to go for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours most. If you can't stick around, if like you get a question right and your name goes in one of the bowls early on, but you can't stick around for the entire live stream, you know, you'll want to come back and check and see if your name was drawn. I'll give you, 24 to 48 hours to claim your prize. I'll have my email address in the video description. You'll want to email me, and then you'll end up having me to provide me with your information. You do, especially for the Galactus, you do need to be 18 years or older. So if you're under the age of 18, you got to make sure you have your parents, because I will need you to give me, personal information like your name and your mailing address, either to give to Hasbro Pulse. When I buy the Galactus figure, I'll have to enter your name and mailing address in that information, so that when it goes out, they will send it to you. Or with the G.I. Joe figures, I'll need that in order to send it to you directly. So I do ask that you be 18 years or older. I know some people, have, expressed concerns of what if, somebody who's just going to scalp it or turn around and resell it or what have you, wins. And unfortunately, I have no way of controlling that. Hopefully everybody, all of you guys, if you win, you're going to add it to your collection or what have you. But I don't have any real way of knowing, somebody maybe already has 3 Galactuses on order and they win another one. I don't have any way of controlling that. So, but I've seen some of you can voice that concern. But hopefully, like I said, hopefully all you guys watching are, legit collectors, and you're if you win, you're going to, like I said, add it to your collection. Big thanks to Blake, who's actually not going to be on here tonight. He's on vacation and with his family. So he emailed me earlier today and said he wasn't going to be able to watch live tonight. But Blake, is a regular on here. He actually put up the cash himself. He's just a viewer like you guys, but he wanted to put up the cash for the Galactus figure. So Galactus, especially if you win, if you see Blake in a future live stream, be sure to thank him. He, like I said, very generous. He's often made very generous super chat donations during my live streams. So very generous viewer. And again, he is this essentially the Galactus giveaway was his idea, and he put up the money for it, the $400 for it, for you guys to have it. So, like I said, be sure to he's not here tonight. I don't think you're going to see him on here on the stream tonight, but next time you see him in a future live stream or what have you, let him know that, big thanks to him. Okay, so I guess we should probably jump into it. And like I said, there's a total of 15 questions at all, 5 for Galactus. If it's a Galactus question, that means it's for the Galactus figure. If it's a G.I. Joe question, it's for one of the G.I. Joe classified. figures. If it's anything outside of those two things, then it's going to be your name will go into the bowl for the $100 store credit. And there's a total of 15 questions here, 5 for each category, and I'll randomly be drawing them and asking the questions. So let's start off with the first one. Remember, it's the first name I see with the correct answer. I'll call it out. That is the person whose name will then go in the bowl, and then we'll draw one name, or in the case of the G.I. Joe, it'll be 3 names out at the end of the evening. Okay, so our first question of the evening is a G.I. Joe question, and so this whoever gets this one right, their name will go in the bowl for the G.I. Joe classified figures. And the question is, what was the final year the original A Real American Hero toy line from Hasbro was made? So essentially, what year did Hasbro end the original 80s A Real American Hero toy line? Here we go. Oh. All right, hold on. I saw the correct answer. Um, they all scrolled up real quick, so I'm trying to go up to the first one that appeared on my screen. So it looks like the first one with the correct answer that showed up on my screen was Die-Cast Fly, and the correct answer was 1994. So congrats, Die-Cast. Your name is now going into the bowl for one of the 3 G.I. Joe classified figures. All right. Now, besides the contest, we can sit here and talk about other things that have been going on in the world of action figures and related things. It's not going to be all just questions, though. We've got a lot of questions to go over tonight, so we'll probably get to the next question here fairly quickly. But I guess topic on my mind, well, since we're giving away Galactus, let's check in and see where the Haslab Galactus is currently. So we've got just over 15 days left, and right now it's got 11,772 backers out of the target 14,000 minimum needed for it to be backed. So definitely it continues to be pretty slow going. It did not get a huge boost from the live stream this past Monday. It broke 11,000 on Monday morning, early Monday morning, and then it's been, kind of climbing up. I mean, again, we've got 15 days, and as we get closer to, the 30th, this number I think will go up, as people who have been waiting to the last minute start to, back it, kind of like me, this number will jump up. So I still don't I'm still not worried that this is not going to get backed, but I do wonder how, if we'll get to like Nova, if we'll get to the 16,000 for the Nova figure, and I definitely kind of feel like we're not going to get anything past Nova. Toyloke Lactus says Galactus' face is too big. It doesn't fit the helmet correctly, and it better fit correctly. I don't know. I don't think it looks too big. I agree with you. It better fit correctly, but Omni asks, will they release a lighter color version like they did with I'm never going to say never, but right now Hasbro is not, essentially saying that this will be the only way you'll get this Galactus figure. So, and they've yet to re-release anything from Haslab. So, if they did if they re-released Galactus at some point, it probably wouldn't be for, several years. So, again, I never say never with that kind of question, but I wouldn't expect to see a reissue of Galactus in some way anytime soon. Jason, if we made the WWE ring with like 5,000 in one day, then we'll make it. Yeah, so that's a good point, Jason. So let me pop back over here. So we talked about this last week, and yeah, the WWE ring had a big boost in backers this week. Um, the other day, I think it was Friday, was the cutoff for the Macho Man early bird. Mattel did something a little bit different, where they offered an extra figure for those who backed it early. Meaning didn't wait to the last minute. So that was this Friday, and this number really jumped up quite a bit in that last 24 to 48 hours to that. So this thing is now fully backed, including all the unlockables. Uh, the ring skirt needed 8,000, so you can see they're at 8,113 out of the minimum 5,000. You got Doink the Clown when they get surpass 7,000. If you bought this on Friday, then you also got the Macho Man figures, so 3 ultimate figures along with the ring. That actually was not too bad of a deal, in my opinion. So, if you're into wrestling, and the ring, is supposed to be really well made, almost like, a miniaturized real wrestling ring. So, and then you got the light up entranceway as well. So, yeah, I thought it was kind of a cool thing. A lot of people thought that it wasn't going to actually get backed, but and wrestler, and the other cool thing is actual WWE wrestlers like Kevin Nash was tweeting about it on his social media. The Diesel figure. Um, Now, I wouldn't. It's cool that they were helping promote it. At the same time, I wouldn't buy something just because, if I was a huge Kevin Nash fan, I wouldn't buy something simply because Kevin Nash said, buy it, unless I really wanted it already. But it was still just, cool seeing wrestlers actually kind of promote it. It seemed like Kevin Nash really wasn't too familiar with it. He kind of said some of his fans had asked him to make a shout out about it. So I don't think Kevin Nash is a huge action figure collector or anything, but it was kind of cool to see him posting about it. Vinny Boom Boom says 68 Macho Man Legend figures today. I saw a Target in the electronics department. The Ultimate figures are pretty nice. I mean, I'm not a huge wrestling figure fan, but I've got a couple of those Ultimate figures, and they're actually pretty nice. Gemini says AEW has acquired a bunch of talent. Yeah, they continue to seem to grow pretty good. Toy Lactus says they definitely overstated how much people wanted another Galactus. After spending like 10 years ignoring the Fantastic Four, it kind of decreased their importance. I think a lot of people want Galactus. Maybe not quite as many as the Sentinel. I think the big difference between the Sentinel and the Galactus, as I've stated before, is that the Sentinel is an army builder and Galactus isn't. So while people were buying multiples of the Sentinel because they wanted, again, to army build it, they're not buying multiples of Galactus unless they're just buying, extras to either keep, in the package to possibly resell one day or even, try and turn around and resell it immediately. But most people, I think, are just going to stick with one Galactus because he's not an army builder. So to me, that's the big difference between the Sentinel and the Galactus. I don't think the Sentinel necessarily is in that much more demand than the Galactus. I definitely feel like Galactus would have been is going to be in more demand than had they done some type of vehicle. And I've shared my thoughts on this before. While it sounds cool to say, "Oh, give us an X-Men Blackbird" or "give us an Avengers Quinjet," but something that's super expensive like that takes up a huge amount of space that doesn't really give you a lot of figure display options. I think you find that anyone who said you could probably go ask anyone, say, "Hey, would you like to see a cool 6-inch scale Quinjet?" And people would probably say yeah. But when it really comes down to, are they going to plop down, $400 or somewhere in that neighborhood, and then try and find the space of it? Of course, there will be people who will do that, but I think you probably would find that the number would decrease sharply. Now, I feel like Hasbro deliberately set, the minimum backer number on this high because they didn't want it to get fully funded as quickly as the Sentinel did. I think they got caught by total surprise with how fast the Sentinel got back last year. Based on their previous Haslabs, that was by far the quickest, at least at that point, was the quickest thing to have gotten backed. And so I think they wanted to slow it down. I think maybe they did it too high. I think they probably should have gone, maybe 10,000 backers or maybe even 12. But I do think they kind of set the bar a little bit too high with the 14,000. But I do think they did that on purpose so that it would slow it down so they didn't get backed as much and wouldn't necessarily go through all the tiers as quickly. At this point, we'll have to see, like I said, it's hard to estimate what those those last couple week or days boost will give you. So conceivably, you might even reach when all is said and done, it might even reach, it doesn't seem like it now, but if it gets really big boosts at the end, who knows, maybe it will actually exceed, 16,000, 20,000. I don't know. I don't think we're going to get to, I think we'll be lucky if we break the Nova tier, but I really, if I was betting, I would say the chances are not good that it's going to break, 18 or 20,000. All right, let's do another question because again, we do have a lot of questions to go through tonight. Another G.I. Joe question. What year did Hasbro launch the 3 3/4 inch G.I. Joe 25th anniversary line? So the question is, what year did Hasbro... Oh, I think we have... Just confirming the first correct answer. So it looks like Kyle, 2007. You are correct, Kyle. 2007 was the year that Hasbro launched the 25th anniversary line, which I love that line. I still display it on my shelves today. So congrats, Kyle. So 2 G.I. Joe questions are down. We've got 3 more G.I. Joe questions to go. All 5 Galactus questions, and then 5 random questions for the $100 store credit. So, and like I said, we're going to, because we got so many questions tonight, well, actually, you know what? Because we do have so many questions tonight, let's go on and do another one. We get talking about other things, and then the night, before you know it, it's already an hour into the podcast. Okay, this is a random question. So this is going to be for the $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. This is open to anybody wherever you live, internet, pretty much anywhere Big Bad Toy Store ships, which is almost everywhere, I think. So international and U.S. So this question is, what recent company has done Thundercats action figures besides Mattel and Super 7? And action figures, not statues. I believe, let's see. The first correct answer is Proud AA Trapped in the U.S. It's quite a name there. But yes, Bandai America technically, but I'll accept Bandai. Bandai America was really the first company before Mattel and first recent company before Mattel and Super 7 that did Thundercats figures when that series came out on Cartoon Network that didn't last very long. But yeah, so congrats to him. So his name actually, I think I is into the wrong. Okay. Make sure I get it in the right bowl. His name is going into the bowl for the $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. So we're going to be doing multiple drawings tonight: Galactus, GI Joe, classified figures, and then $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. Yeah, I believe it was around that time that they did the Thundercats. I like those Bandai figures. I didn't think those Bandai figures were too bad, but of course they didn't finish out the team. And I'm talking about the collector-oriented ones of the original Thundercats, not necessarily the stuff based on the cartoon itself, the new cartoon. Even though that stuff actually wasn't too bad either, if you like the new cartoon. Jason, with the Marvel Legends Infinity Saga line, what are some more movie characters we need? I'd like to see Whiplash, Tatari Soldier to Army Belt. I wouldn't be surprised if eventually we saw Tatari Soldier. I don't know if we'll ever see a Whiplash figure, just because the actor who played Whiplash did not part ways with Disney on good terms. So Disney might not. I mean, Hot Toys did do a Whiplash figure, but I don't know. I don't see Whiplash coming anytime soon. Now, speaking of Disney and actors not parting ways well with the company, um, you know, I'd be interested in hearing your guys' thoughts on the whole Scarlett Johansson and suing Disney over essentially saying that they kind of ripped her off with her salary. I feel like it's kind of an interesting. I mean, at the end of the day, I would say I feel like based on what I've seen and heard, Scarlett Johansson is more in the right than Disney. I feel like Disney should have been. I understand Disney's reason for putting it out on Disney Plus, and I totally agree with that decision. But I feel like they should have, when they did that, they should have renegotiated or cut Johansson in um, to some of those profits as well. Even though it's hard to feel super sympathy for Johansson, and I know that's why Disney put this information out there. But the fact that she's made like $20 million from the movie, it's not like, you know, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of money. So, and again, that's exactly why Disney put that information out there, because they didn't want you thinking that Scarlett Johansson was a victim that wasn't making any money on the movie. But in the world of business, I mean, I guess on the one hand, contract, I don't know. I don't feel a lot of sympathy for either party, I guess is the best way to say it. But if I had to choose one side, I would say that I would say Scarlett Johansson is probably more in the right to be upset than Disney is. But that's the thing, is all of these other actors and actresses are watching this, and if Scarlett Johansson wins, then it's going to open the floodgates to all these other actors and actresses, wanting, essentially to have similar deals and stuff. So, I feel like Disney would have been better to just handle this, quietly behind closed doors and such. But now that it's out there in the open, it's kind of like they're backed in a corner, and so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I don't expect to see Scarlett Johansson in any more Disney movies, including Marvel, but we'll have to see how it all goes. And to me, it also, an interesting thing is, like, I just saw a report the other day saying that projections, box office projections for Shang-Chi, which I still want to say Shang-Chi, but Shang-Chi, I guess, is now the correct pronunciation of it. But that it's actually projected to make less money than Black Widow did, which was one of the lower Marvel movies, as far as box office takes. And Shang-Chi is it's only going to be released in theater. It's not going to be on Disney Plus, on the opening day. So to me, if, and I mean, a lot of it's based on what's going on with COVID and the variants and things like that, but at the end of the day, if it's really looking like this phase of Marvel movies are not going to be strong performers at the box office, like the first couple of phases. So I really have to wonder what that's going to do for the overall franchise. Um, if the executives at Disney start to get cold feet and want to start changing things around and stuff, if these movies aren't making huge dollars like they once did. Yeah, I mean, I lost. And I don't disagree that Eternals will not be a super huge box office maker either. I think out of the current movies that are coming, I mean, Spider Man has a decent shot at probably being uh, making decent money. Of course, that's Sony technically, not Disney. And but yeah, most of the movies in this, I mean, this is a rebuilding phase, but and obviously it's been plagued by delays and things. So, but at the end of the day, what I find these corporate executives look at is the money that it brings in, and regardless of the excuses of why, if they start to see these movies aren't making a lot of money, you have to wonder if they're gonna pull a Warner Brothers and start wanting to make changes and stuff. I don't think they should shelve Eternals, but I do think they should release all these movies on Disney Plus along with theater releases. I think that should be the new standard, because I probably will not go to the theater to see Shang-Chi. I'll probably wait for it to come out on home release. I so far I'm not having this burning desire to have to be out there on the first day to see that movie. So I watch Black Widow at home, and so I really feel like theaters, especially if we start going, we just this week, they delayed once again the Venom movie, only by a few weeks, but I think they need to quit delaying these movies and just start doing a theater home release at the same time. That to me just should be the new norm. Um, Quit trying to force people into the theaters. If you want to go to the theater, and I know there are people out there who do prefer to go to the movie theaters, um, and I think that's great. But quit trying to force people into the theater. Just put them out. Give you both options, and let people decide. Is my feeling. Sir Davy says if they delayed Dune, I'm going to sue. Well, Dune's going to be, that's a Warner Brothers movie, so it'll be really. I don't think it'll be delayed because it's coming straight to HBO Max. I wouldn't be surprised if No Way Home gets delayed. Um, since Sony just delayed the Venom movie, I would not be surprised, especially if things, if with these COVID variants and stuff, things start going on lockdown or strict restrictions with masks and all that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Sony doesn't delay Spider-Man: No Way Home. I subscribed to HBO Max for like $13 just to watch Suicide Squad. Well, I, I had HBO, and somehow HBO became HBO Max. I didn't really do anything to make that happen. It just did, and I never, I've been pretty happy with HBO Max. I watched Justice League Snyder Cut, which I thought was a good movie. I like Snyder Cut Justice League better than I did Suicide Squad. I did not think Suicide Squad was a great movie. I didn't think it was a horrible movie, but I thought it was too comedic. I know that's James Gunn's style, but honestly, I'm not a huge fan of that style. I thought he did a decent job with the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but the second one was not a favorite of mine, and I just thought they kind of dumbed down Suicide Squad too much. Um, Again, it had some good moments. Some of the characters I liked. I actually like King Shark, and and I don't mind some comedy interjected into the movies. And with Deadpool, to me, Suicide Squad was trying to be like Deadpool, and Deadpool is written. That character was created to be that type of thing, and so it works for a Deadpool movie. But I just feel like that's not what Suicide Squad, at least the issues that I had read of Suicide Squad, which I haven't read recent stuff, but I don't feel like that's really a good fit for Suicide Squad. So, you know, Harley. Well, I don't want to give spoilers, but how they defeated the main bad guy in that movie, I thought was pretty lame. So, I don't know. Um, I didn't think it was a horrible movie, but I definitely don't think it was like the best thing since sliced bread. Like I see like some people trying to make it out to be on social media. I did not think it was that great of a movie. I'm not really interested in seeing James Gunn do more DC movies. Um, I thought Justice League Snyder Cut was a much better movie than Suicide Squad. I thought the first Suicide Squad movie was better, just that at least it was a more serious take on the characters. Um, and like, I didn't have a problem with Bloodsport, but it seemed to me Bloodsport was an exact duplicate of Deadshot from the first movie, with his kid and trying to redeem himself with his kid and things like that. I mean, it was like they just took the Deadshot character and renamed him Bloodsport with a new actor. So I like I said, Suicide Squad was not as good as I think I've seen some people try and make it out to be, but I definitely like the Snyder Cut Justice League. I watched the first 3 episodes of Titans this week, which I thought was pretty good. Um, so I'm pretty happy with HBO Max, but definitely I would not have gone to see Suicide Squad in the theater. I would have waited for it to come out on home release, and so that's where I am. All right, let's get to another question because again, we've got a lot to go. So we've had 2 GI Joe questions and 1 random question for the Big Bad Toy Store store credit. No, we haven't gotten any Galactus questions yet. But we do now have our first Galactus question. So, if you get this question right, your name will go in the bowl for the drawing for the Haslab Galactus. You will need to be 18 years or older. You will need to have an address that Hasbro Pulse will ship to. So if you win, and you'll have to provide me your shipping information because I'll make the purchase on Hasbro Pulse, and then I'll put your information for the shipping information. And so when Hasbro, assuming it does get funded, sends it out, they will just send it out to you directly. Okay, so what was Galactus's humanoid name, or essentially what was his original name? I see the right answer. Let me make sure I got the first right answer. Looks like Michael Zimmerman Galen, I think is how you pronounce it, Galen. It was his original humanoid. He was an actual humanoid originally, and his name was Galen. So you are correct, sir, and your name is the first name to go in for the Haslab Galactus drawing. What time is it? It's 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and do another question, just because, again, we've got so many tonight. Got to shuffle them up. All right, this is another question for the $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. This is not related to Galactus or GI Joe. Pretty easy answer here, or question, I would say. Who created The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's two people. What were their names? All right, I got see it in the correct answer. Just gotta make sure I get to the first one. Fotzilla. Yes, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. Oh, you gave me their last names, but I'll go with that. So, congrats. Your name is now going into the bowl for the $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. That's two down for that category. So, three more questions on that one. Well, I try and go with the first one that I see or that is gets the right answer, but mainly that's to say if by some chance there was a correct answer that I missed, you know, it goes with the one that I call. But I am trying to get the first one that pops up on my screen with the correct answer. So I'm trying to make it as fair as possible. So has anyone caught the new? Been watching Titans? They put out the first three episodes of season three this week. I wish they had put out the whole thing. I've been spoiled by Netflix, but I wish, I wish they would do the whole thing. I watched season one and season two essentially together because I was late to the game on Titans. But so far, kind of cold blooded. End of the third episode, but I've been pretty happy with it. Though apparently, Lego and Figures thinks Titans suck. BC Barker Creations. What did I think of What If? I liked the first episode. I mean, granted, they're essentially taking a 2 hour movie and cramming it into a 30-minute episode, with their take on things. But so some things were a little bit rushed, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. I like the Captain Carter character. Um, I think the figure is going to be pretty cool. I at first I was thinking, and I'm not 100% sure, but I was thinking, like, will this will every episode in this season be kind of a continuation of each other? So will we and I've heard like the Captain Carter will be appearing in more than one episode, and maybe even eventually appear in one of the movies. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but I was wondering if, like, okay, now Captain Carter is essentially the Captain America in the present. Will the next episode kind of follow on that, or will it be just totally unrelated? And I'm thinking it's probably totally unrelated, just because we've seen some episodes where Steve Rogers is still Captain America, like the zombie episode and stuff. So I'm thinking each episode is pretty much its own contained thing, but overall, so far I'm giving it a thumbs up. I thought I thought the animation was good. I like the voices. The guy who does the Red Skull, which I guess is the same guy that did it in Endgame, and Infinity War. Uh, you know, he captures the voice from the original movie dead on. And even like the guy that they got to do Chris Evans, or Steve Rogers, who wasn't Chris Evans, uh, I thought he did a pretty good job. So overall, I was happy with it. Sean says, I like how the What If show is like the comic with the Watcher doing the intros. Reminds me of the Twilight Zone. Yeah, it does in a way. I mean, that's how the comics were originally as well. But yeah, I agree. It does have that kind of Twilight feel to it. Yellow Jacket. What are my thoughts on the Jada Toys Universal monster figures based on looks? I mean, from the images I've seen, I think they look pretty good. I mean, you've got a lot of companies doing Universal monsters with NECA and Jada Toys, and I don't know if you guys caught the news the other day, but looks like NECA's going to be doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Universal Monster mashup figures, which of course Playmates did back in the day. So those will be interesting. But I mean, Jada's never done figures like that before, so we'll have to see what the quality is and stuff. But so far they look pretty promising. Josh Keaton voiced Steve Rogers. Yeah, I believe he also voiced Spider-Man in one of the Spider-Man animated shows as well. Blake Cowyman. Sorry if I mispronounced the last name. This isn't the same Blake that donated the Galactus, but thanks for the super chat donation, my man. 4.99. What if only reminds me that DC animation is so much better? Marvel animation has struggled in MCU era. Eh, I mean, yeah, I agree. A lot of the, I mean, it depends on what DC you're talking about, but like Justice League and Young, you know, Young Justice, and I mean, but there isn't really. Oh, I guess if you're talking about the movies, the animated movies, the DC animated movie, yeah, I mean, but it's a different style of animation too. I think so, but yes, I agree. The Warner Brothers DC animated movies, generally have really good animation. Um, but they've been doing cartoons, that stuff a lot longer. The What If animation looks like it's retroscope scanned from the actor's images. Well, I definitely feel like they're trying to capture that. I don't know exactly, I don't know what technology they use or what, but yeah, I definitely feel like they're trying to, capture the actors' likenesses. The puny Steve Rogers look very much like the puny Steve Rogers from the first Avenger movie. Vic, sorry man, I don't know. I go with the one that I saw. I didn't have anything to do with misspelling, so you got to go. We go with the one that I called. Like I said, guys, it's not a perfect system. If you may see your name come up first on your screen, different from mine. Um, so we're here to have fun, and so I know you guys want to win, but on my screen, the name I called was the first one that popped up on that last question. So, like I said, you guys may see it differently on your screens, and I have no way of knowing what you're seeing, but that's just how it goes. And yeah, there is a little bit of lottery. It's kind of like the lottery in some ways. But remember, the trivia portion of it is really just for fun, and then giving you guys, trying to give you guys a chance to win stuff. So, uh, not too long from now, I wouldn't expect. I go look like Big Bad Toy Store; they'll have a release date. But whatever the release date on Big Bad Toy Store is, you'll probably start to see it pop up overseas a month before that at least. and then slowly at maybe a big box retailer. But I wouldn't be surprised. I want to say it was originally August, but I don't think we'll see him in August. So I'm thinking probably September or October. I like that Captain Carter costume. I think they should have called her Captain Britain though with that costume. I don't really like the Captain Carter name. I mean, obviously it's her name, so I get that, but I feel like they should have called her Captain Britain. Um, I feel like that would have been a more fitting name. Earl says there are delays, internet versus mobile. It happens. All right, so let's do another question. Maybe we'll do two questions here. Let me mix them up. Yeah, I do. That was kind of weird to me. Of course, how did she end up in Shield? I mean, she was working with the U.S. Army, the original concept, and then obviously she went to Shield. But I feel like if it was real world and you had this British person, wearing a British costume, there would be like, this fight between countries. Well, she belongs to us. She's our super soldier. She's not your super soldier. So I do feel like there would be like some disagreement on exactly who she was working with. Of course, the super soldier program I guess was U.S. program, so and she wasn't even really authorized to get the super soldier serum. She just kind of took it upon herself to do it, which I'm sure would cause a lot of red tape and everything, which they kind of touched on a little bit. But and again, they were trying to cram a lot into a 30-minute episode. All right, so this is again for the Big Bad Toy Store store credit. Another pretty easy one, I would say, especially since we've been talking Titans. What alias besides Robin is Jason Todd known for? All right, again, so this is the first correct answer. God damn it. The screen moved on me, so I got to go back to it. Okay, so the first correct answer that has popped up on my screen, which of course is Red Hood, is from Adam Turvey. So, congrats. Your name is now going into the bowl. Let's go on and do another question. Yeah, we keep getting all the Big Bad Toy Store questions. Okay, so what year did the Masters of the Universe 2000 X series start? So this is the cartoon before the most recent revelation. What year did that start? Lord Vash 26, you are correct. First correct answer to pop up. So your name is now in the bowl for the $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. It's almost been an hour, so we're gonna go and do another question since we still got quite a few questions to go. This is for the G.I. Joe classified figures. This is a G.I. Joe question. What artist, who later was a founder of Image Comics, drew the art for Marvel Comics G.I. Joe issue number 60? And I see the correct answer. Let me just confirm. Chris Field had the first correct answer to pop up on my screen. Yes, Todd McFarlane, before he really kind of took off, became a big name. He drew an issue of G.I. Joe. So, Chris, your name is now going into the pot for. All right, so we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 questions to go. We're getting mostly down to the Galactus questions. Quinn says, "Who's Todd McFarlane? Never heard of him." Come on, you own a comic book store, dude. All right. I think we'll just keep doing questions because unless you guys have any other hot topics you want to discuss tonight. Yeah, I know, Quinn. I'd be scared though if you didn't know if somebody who owned a comic book store didn't know who Todd McFarlane was. But yeah, I knew you were joking. Gotti, did I miss the big reveal? Well, no big reveals tonight, really. We're just doing pop culture trivia mostly. It was actually a pretty slow week for news this week, which I kind of expected, after July with Comic Con stuff. I think things will pick up towards the end of the month, and then next month will be a big month for news. I'm pretty sure that's when Hasbro's going to do their PulseCon thing. And we may even get a second live stream for Marvel at the end of this month. Because we should definitely be getting the reveal for the official reveal for the GI Joe, for the Marvel Legend Spider-Man theme figures. Gotti, I never take my hat off on a live stream. All right, another G.I. Joe question. This one might be a little tougher. What was the name of the G.I. Joe line to follow a real American hero that started in 1994? So what was the action figure line for G.I. Joe to start after a real American hero, G.I. Joe theme line, that began in 1994? I saw the correct answer, just trying to get back to it. So, partial answer, but this isn't Jeopardy, so I'll take it. Misty Knight, Bionic Arm. Sergeant Savage and his Screaming Eagles is the full name, but I believe you got the gist of it. So, your name is now in the bowl for one of the G.I. Joe classified figures. So we're down to 4 questions. Got to be pretty close to all Galactus. Now we got one more G.I. Joe. One more big bad toy store credit. And the rest are Galactus. There was an actual line. I don't think it lasted very long, but that was a Superman Lois final. I gotta catch up on that show. I watched the first episode and then I kind of lost track of it, so I gotta go back and watch that one. All right, next question. What is Galactus the sole survivor of? So you'll probably have to Google this. Now the Big Bang. Well, his old universe had a name, so all right, there we go. The sixth incarnation of the multiverse. I have a feeling you maybe Googled that, but that is the correct answer. That's probably the toughest question in the. So your name is now in the drawing for Galactus. That's only the second name for the Galactus so far. So we've got 3 more Galactus questions. I mean, there's no rule that says you can't use Google to look up answers. It's just if it takes, normally people will get it before you have time to look it up on Google. But that one, I think. I had to look it up on Google to come up with the question, so. All right. I actually saw people throwing this answer out earlier, so But the question is, what comic and issue did Galactus first appear in? Adam, you got it right. Issue number 48. All right, we're down to 4 questions. 3 Galactus and 1 GI Joe. What is the name of Galactus's world ship? Because I think he got maybe a misspelling, but for the most part got it. Ta 2 is the answer, but I'm going to take that as the correct answer for Jeff. All right, we're down to 3 questions. Ta-da! Wouldn't that be a bitch if like the final add-on for the Galactus was going to be like his world devouring or something along those lines, the ship or something? There's no way they'd be able to throw that in at the cost, but I hope. Like I don't think we'll get to all the unlockable tiers. I mean, I don't know exactly how many they planned out. I assume there's more than 2 that they planned out, but I hope they at least at some point tell us what they were going to be. Gray Fox. The final Galactus add-on will be a reaction style figure for it. You probably mean like a retro. Super 7 does reaction, but Hasbro does retro. Okay. Another Galactus question. What was the name of Galactus's first herald? Okay, I see the correct answer. Just making sure I get the first one. Joseph is correct. Not the first one that appeared, but technically the first one was the fallen one. So Joseph, your name is now in the pot for Galactus. 2 more questions. 1 Galactus question, 1 G.I. Joe question. We'll go with the G.I. Joe. This is a super easy one. Which G.I. Joe character has the most classified figures to date? Classified. The 6-inch current line. Lord Vosh with snake eyes. Correct. All right, so we're down to the last question, which is a Galactus question for the Galactus Haslab. What year did the Teen Titans... Wait a minute. Sorry, this isn't for Galactus. This is for the store credit. Did we get this one? Oh, so we have done all 5 Galactus questions, so just want to make sure. Okay, so this is for the $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. What year did the Teen Titans first debut? Yes, the first correct answer is Michael Zimmerman. The answer is 1964 in Brave and the Bold, issue number 54. So congrats, your name is now in the bowl for the $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. All right. Just to confirm. Okay, so we've got 3 bowls here. We're going to do 3 different, well, with the G.I. Joe, we're going to do 3 drawings out of that bowl. The other 2 is just 1. So this is the bowl for the $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. This is open to anybody, who, as long as Big Bad Toy Store ships to you, then you're eligible for this one. And when I announce your name, if you're still here, that's great. But if you're not, hopefully you'll check back tomorrow, watch the video when it's a regular video, and you can still claim your prize. I'll have my email down in the comment section or video description below. It's jay@enewseye.com, but I'll have it there. You'll want to email me to claim your prize. Toy Lactus says he's here. Okay, so the winner of the $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store is Lord Vosh, who had the 2000. What year did the 2000X series premiere? So, congrats to him. he is the winner for the Big Bad Toy Store credit. I don't know if he's still here. Yep, he is. All right, let's do G.I. Joe. So we're going to draw 3 names from this one. So the first name is going to win the Baroness and the bike. The second name is going to win the Cobra Viper. And the third name is going to win the Major Blood figure. Now, you do have to have an address here in the United States to claim this prize. I'm not doing international shipping on these. But, so the first one for the Baroness. Misty Knight Bionic Arm, who had the question of the, what was the name of the line to follow up A Real American Hero. So you win the Baroness bike. I don't know if you're still in the house, but congrats to them. Okay, 2 more to draw for G.I. Joe. Next one, the next name we're going to draw here is for the Cobra Viper figure. I think all these figures are currently available on Target's website, so they're not nearly as hard as they once were to get, but, you know, free is free. So, we have a repeat winner with Lord Vosh again, winning the Cobra Viper, who got the question, the G.I. Joe character with the most classified figures to date. So, 2-time winner tonight, Lord Vosh. All right, last one for G.I. Joe, which will be for the Major Blood figure. And Chris Field, who got the question of Todd McFarlane, who drew the issue of issue 60. So Chris Field, if you are in the house, you are the winner of Major Blood. Now, remember, I'll have my email once this becomes a regular video. I'll have my email address in the video description, so you'll want to make sure you email to claim your prize. All right. So now we are down to Galactus. So with the Galactus, again, you have to live somewhere that has Repulse. We'll ship it to you. You'll end up providing me your name and mailing address, which I will then provide to Hasbro when I essentially buy the figure. I'll put your information down as the shipping address. And then whenever Hasbro gets around to shipping these out, which will probably be a year, it'll go straight to you. I guess I should say, if by some chance you move between now and when the figure is ships out, you'll want to contact me, and then I'll update the information. Since, it's going to be a while before you actually get your hands on this. And again, if by some remote chance this does not get back on Hasbro Pulse, you wouldn't win anything in this case, but I don't think there's much chance of that happening, so. Okay. So here is our big winner of the night. And again, Blake Tarpley was the one who put up the money for this one. Not here tonight because he's on vacation with his family. But if you see him in a future live stream, be sure to say a big thanks to him. Because, again, he put up the $400 essentially for this for you guys. CJ Swordpunk, a.k.a. The Exorcist, is the winner with the question of the hardest question of the night with the 6th incarnation So he probably should thank Google for his help on that one. But he is the winner of the Galactus. So congrats to him. A big thanks to Blake for making tonight happen, or at least the Galactus portion of tonight happening. Thanks to everybody who joined tonight. It's always great to listen to you guys and hear your guys' thoughts on things. So again, when this becomes a regular video, my email is jay@enews. That's the letter ENEWSI.com. But I will have it in the video description once this becomes a regular video. The winners who were called tonight, you'll want to email me and claim your prizes. You will need to provide me your, essentially your mailing address and your name when you do that. And then at this point for the G.I. Joe figures will go out next week to you guys. I'll get those out next week. Store credit will be set up with Big Bad Toy Store early next week. And then for Galactus, you'll just have to wait until Hasbro gets around to sending it out to you. But we're getting the Sentinel probably starting at the end of September. October probably for most of us, maybe even going into November. But within the next month or so, those of us who back the Sentinel will finally have our hands on that one. So I can't wait for the Sentinel. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do this. Just a quick unboxing. This arrived from Target. It arrived today. That's why I'm unboxing it here on the air. I know what it is because I got an email saying it had arrived. But it is the Target exclusive Justice League Snyder Cut Darkseid figure with his shirt on. So I didn't get the regular one without his shirt. In fact, right now this is the only McFarlane Justice League Snyder Cut figure that I've gotten. I will probably get a few of the others. I haven't actually seen these in stores yet, so I haven't really been looking that heavily either. But I may get Steppenwolf and maybe a few of the others. Some of the likenesses, Superman and Batman are not super great, in the unmasked versions. In my opinion, at least. But I will probably get some of those. But I will probably do a review of this guy this week, so hopefully we'll check it out. I know you guys don't watch many of my reviews these days. I don't do a lot of reviews, but when I do, usually they get, at most 1,000 or so views. But I will probably, and I know I'm not the first to review this guy, so I understand that. But anyway, we're going to cut it tonight. It's about 9 o'clock, so I think we're going to wrap it up here. And a big thanks to everybody who joined tonight. Hopefully you guys, even if you didn't win, hopefully you had fun. That's really the main goal with these things, is just to try and have some fun. But if you're upset you didn't win, I understand. I do have oh yeah, I have a cat fetish. Cap's awesome. But yep, so as always, guys, I gotta throw in my little plug here. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I'd really appreciate it. One day I want to break 100,000 subscribers. I'll probably be old and decrepit when I do, but I want to get that YouTube plaque one day. But as always, thanks for joining in tonight. Stay safe out there, guys. And until next time, I'll catch you later. Peace.